O Gemini Dis, society tells you a very specific, very cruel lie. It tells you that wealth is a young person's game. The world whispers that if you have not built your financial empire by this stage in your life, if you have not secured an unbreakable fortress of resources by now, then it is simply too late. It tells you to accept a life of quiet reduction, to shrink your desires, to manage your decline, and to prepare for a future defined by limitation and scarcity. I want you to listen to me very carefully today, because I am going to tell you the absolute truth. That narrative is a magnificent lie. It is a fabrication designed to keep you small, compliant, and terrified. True abundance does not possess an expiration date. Wealth does not look at your birth certificate before deciding to enter your life. Today, we are going to have a profoundly honest, deeply transformative conversation. My name is Maggie, and we are not going to talk about spreadsheets, stock markets, or complex economic theories. We are going to talk about something far more powerful, far more fundamental, and far more urgent. We are going to talk about the silent frequency of abundance. We are going to explore exactly why money has been avoiding you, why it slips through your fingers despite your hardest efforts, and how the very words you speak in the quiet of your own home are acting as a massive energetic repellent to your own prosperity. If you are ready to reclaim your financial dignity, to stop begging for scraps from the universe, and to learn how to command abundance into your life with absolute authority, I invite you to subscribe to this channel and join our community. We speak the truth here, even when it requires us to unlearn decades of painful conditioning. Let us begin by addressing the heaviest anchor dragging down your energetic field. It is a burden you carry silently, a weight that sits on your chest every time you look at your bank account or think about your future. I am talking about the profound, agonizing weight of financial regret. When we reach this magnificent, mature stage of life, we do not arrive with a blank slate, we arrive with scars. We arrive with the memories of investments that failed, businesses that collapsed, and partnerships that dissolved. We carry the financial devastation of painful divorces, the crushing cost of trusting the wrong people, and the agonizing hindsight of opportunities we were too afraid to take. You look back at the decisions you made 10, 20, or 30 years ago, and a voice in your head berates you. It tells you that you were foolish, that you should have known better, that you ruined your own chances at security. This internal dialogue of self-hatred is the first and most impenetrable block to your current abundance. You must understand a fundamental spiritual and psychological law. Money is an energy of expansion, and it absolutely cannot enter an environment defined by punishment and guilt. If you are constantly punishing yourself for the mistakes of your past, your subconscious mind believes that you do not deserve to be rewarded in the present. Your mind is a faithful servant. If you tell it that you are a financial failure who ruined their own life, your mind will dutifully repel any new money, any new opportunities, and any new ideas that might contradict that belief. It will ensure you remain in the state of lack that you believe you deserve. Therefore, the very first conversation you must have with money is the conversation of radical, unconditional forgiveness. You must forgive the younger version of yourself. You must look back at that man or woman who made those disastrous financial choices and realize that they were operating with the exact level of consciousness, fear, and information they had at that moment. They did not sabotage your life out of malice. They were likely trying to survive, trying to find love, trying to prove their worth, or simply trying to navigate a complex world without a map. You cannot drag the corpse of your past financial mistakes into the sanctuary of your future. I want you to mentally sit down with that younger version of yourself. Look them in the eye and say, "I forgive you. You did the best you could with what you knew. The debt is paid. The lesson is learned. I release you from the burden of my resentment." When you truly internalize this forgiveness, you create a massive energetic shift. You clear the dense, suffocating fog of guilt from your aura. You signal to the universe that you are no longer a prisoner of your history, but a master of your present. Abundance requires a clean slate. It requires a heart that feels worthy of receiving. By forgiving yourself, you are laying down the foundation upon which true, lasting wealth can finally be built. Once you have cleared the static of guilt, we must fundamentally restructure the way you address money on a daily basis. This brings us to the second conversation, the conversation of absolute dignity. Most people, especially when they are feeling the pressure of time and aging, speak to money from a state of sheer desperation. They treat money as if it were a cruel, withholding deity. They beg, they plead, they cry into their pillows. Why is this so hard? I need you to survive. Why do you always leave me? Please, just let me have enough to get by. I want you to imagine for a moment that money is not a piece of paper or a digital number, but an actual living guest. Imagine money as a distinguished, elegant, highly respected visitor standing at your front door. If you open that door and immediately drop to your knees, weeping, clinging to their coat, begging them not to leave you, terrified that they will vanish, what do you think that guest will do? They will feel suffocated. They will feel the heavy, draining, anxious energy of your desperation, and they will turn around and leave immediately. Energy responds to energy. Desperation is the ultimate repellent. It is a frequency of profound scarcity. When you beg for money, you are affirming to the deepest layers of your subconscious that you are powerless, that you are empty, and that you are a victim of circumstance. You must stop begging. You must elevate your posture and reclaim your dignity. You do not beg a respected guest to stay. You create an environment that is so peaceful, so harmonious, and so deeply welcoming that they never want to leave. You must change your vocabulary immediately. The words you speak cast spells over your reality. When you look at an item in a store or a vacation you wish to take and you say, "I can't afford that," you are declaring a state of powerlessness. You are shrinking yourself to fit a limitation. From this day forward, you will banish the phrase, "I can't afford it," from your lips. Instead, you will speak with the authority of a sovereign being. You will say, "I choose to direct my resources elsewhere at this moment." Do you feel the energetic difference in that statement? I choose. It places you firmly in the driver's seat of your reality. It acknowledges that you possess resources, and you are the master who dictates where they flow. If a bill arrives that is larger than expected, do not panic and declare that you are ruined. Look at it and say, "I am a powerful creator, and I have the capacity to generate the resources required to handle this." You must speak to money as an equal, as a partner in your journey, not as a master that dictates your worth. You command abundance by standing tall in your own inherent value. You command it by knowing that your peace, your wisdom, and your life experience are incredibly valuable assets that the world desperately needs. This transition from desperation to dignity leads us directly to the third, and perhaps the most challenging conversation you must have with money, the conversation of circulation. As we grow older, there is a very natural, deeply ingrained biological instinct to hoard. We look at the years ahead, we worry about our health, we worry about the economy, and our nervous system screams at us to hold on to every single penny with a white-knuckled grip. We become terrified of the outflow. We resent paying for groceries. We curse the utility bills. We feel a physical pain in our chest when we have to spend our savings on a necessary repair. We believe that by hoarding, we are creating security. But this is a devastating misunderstanding of the nature of wealth. The very word currency comes from the Latin word currere, which means to run or to flow. Money is a current. It is exactly like water. What happens to water when you trap it in a closed container and refuse to let it move? It becomes stagnant. It becomes toxic. It breeds disease. The exact same thing happens to your financial energy when you hoard it out of terror. The universe is a system of perpetual motion and balance. If you close your fists so tightly that nothing can leave, you also make it physically impossible for anything new to enter. You must shift your frequency from the panic of hoarding to the grace of circulation. This does not mean you become reckless or foolish with your resources. It means you change the emotional signature behind your spending. When you sit down to pay your electricity bill, I want you to observe your body. Are your shoulders tense? Is your jaw clenched? Are you mentally cursing the electric company? If you are sending money out into the world coated in the toxic energy of resentment and fear. You are telling the universe that money causes you pain. Instead, I want you to perform a radical act of energetic alchemy. I want you to take a deep breath, look at that bill, and feel genuine gratitude. Say to yourself, "Thank you, money, for providing me with light in the darkness. Thank you for the warmth in my home. Thank you for the ability to keep my food fresh and my environment safe. I send you out with gratitude, knowing you will return to me multiplied." When you spend money with a joyful, grateful heart, you are participating in the grand, beautiful circulation of life. You are acting as a conduit of abundance. You are demonstrating to the universe that you trust the flow, that you know you live in a world of infinite supply, and that you are not afraid. Gratitude is the highest frequency of receiving. When you bless the money that leaves your hands, you create a magnetic vacuum that inevitably draws more money back to you. To truly master this, we must look beyond the philosophical and dive into the biological. We must understand the profound connection between your nervous system and your financial reality. Your brain possesses a network of neurons called the Reticular Activating System, or the RAS. This system acts as a filter between your conscious mind and the infinite amount of information constantly bombarding your senses. Your RAS is programmed by your beliefs, your focus, and, most importantly, your emotional states. If you have spent decades associating money with stress, fear, inadequacy, and survival, your nervous system has formed a deeply entrenched neural pathway. Every time you think about money, your brain triggers the release of cortisol, the stress hormone. Your heart rate increases, your breathing becomes shallow, and your body literally enters a state of fight or flight. Now, here is the tragedy of this biological response. When you are in a state of survival, your RAS filters out any information that does not pertain to immediate danger. It narrows your vision. It makes it biologically impossible for you to see new opportunities, to have creative ideas, or to recognize the abundance that is already surrounding you. Your brain believes money is a predator, and it is doing everything in its power to keep you away from it. If you want to change your financial life after 50, you must do the profound work of reconditioning your nervous system. You must teach your body that it is safe to have money, safe to desire money, and safe to receive money. This requires immense patience and gentleness with yourself. It requires you to notice when the cortisol spikes. When you open your banking app and feel that familiar knot in your stomach, you must stop. Do not look at the numbers while you are in a state of panic. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep, slow breaths, expanding your diaphragm. Place your hand on your heart and consciously tell your nervous system, "I am safe. Right here, right now, in this exact moment, I am breathing, I am alive, and I am entirely safe." You must decouple the idea of money from the sensation of physical danger. You must practice feeling wealthy before the wealth actually arrives. Spend 5 minutes every morning simply imagining the feeling of absolute financial peace. Imagine the deep sigh of relief, the relaxation in your shoulders, the quiet joy of knowing all your needs are met and you have plenty to share. Your brain does not know the difference between a real event and a deeply imagined one. By consistently practicing the emotion of abundance, you begin to rewire your neural pathways. You reprogram your reticular activating system to start scanning your environment for opportunities, for connections, and for the evidence of wealth that you were previously too terrified to see. This brings us to a crucial realization about the nature of the abundance you are calling in. Many people believe that wealth is merely the accumulation of objects, bigger houses, faster cars, more expensive clothes. But at this stage in our lives, we know that true wealth is something far more profound. True wealth is sovereignty. It is the absolute freedom to wake up in the morning and dictate the terms of your own existence. It is the ability to say no to toxic situations, no to exhausting obligations, and no to environments that drain your spirit. It is the power to provide for your loved ones without anxiety, to support the causes that touch your heart, and to experience the beauty of this world without the constant, gnawing friction of financial limitation. The universe wants this for you. Life is inherently designed to thrive. Look at nature. It does not struggle to grow. It does not ration its blossoms. It simply explodes into existence whenever the conditions are right. You are a part of that same brilliant, abundant nature. The only thing preventing your flourishing is the invisible dam of your own conditioned beliefs. It is time to dismantle that dam. It is time to stop playing the role of the impoverished victim and step fully into the archetype of the wise, powerful creator. To anchor all of this deep psychological and energetic work, I want to leave you with a highly physical, incredibly powerful ritual. Spirituality and psychology must be grounded in physical action to truly shift your reality. I want you to take your wallet, your purse, or wherever it is that you keep your physical money and your credit cards. I want you to empty it completely. Look at the state of this vessel. Is it torn? Is it stuffed with months of old, faded receipts? Are there expired cards, crumpled notes, and useless pieces of paper suffocating the space? Your wallet is the physical home of your financial energy. It is the sanctuary where your money resides on a daily basis. If this home is chaotic, dirty, and crowded with the debris of the past, you are showing profound disrespect to the energy of wealth. I want you to clean it out ruthlessly. Throw away every single receipt that represents a past expense you no longer need to track. Throw away the loyalty cards for places you never visit. Wipe the leather, organize the cards perfectly, and smooth out your physical cash so that it sits neatly and proudly within the space. You are creating a void. You are creating a beautiful, respectful, empty space that signals to the universe, I have prepared a dignified room for abundance, and I am ready to receive it. Treat your wallet with the same reverence you would treat a sacred altar, because, in a very real way, it is the altar of your material sustenance. Listen to me, and let these words settle deep within your bones. Money is listening to you right now. It hears your complaints, it feels your fear, and it is responding exactly to the instructions you are giving it. It is time to change the instructions. Stop begging it to save you from your life and start commanding it to join you in building a magnificent future. You are not too old. You are not too late. You are, in fact, standing at the precipice of your most powerful years. You have the wisdom of decades, the resilience of a survivor, and the profound depth of a life truly lived. Combine that wisdom with the silent frequency of abundance, and there is absolutely nothing in this world that can stop you. Reclaim your financial dignity today. Speak words of power, forgive your past, circulate your resources with a grateful heart, and prepare your life to receive the overflowing prosperity that has always been your birthright. Your golden years are meant to be exactly that, golden, radiant, and utterly abundant. Take a deep breath, step into your sovereignty, and be well.